And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Getting Sports with the Drunk. I am not the hostess Cupcake the Riddler. I am the Red on the Red Baron. Machine Washable may be joining us a little bit later, but he is...
I am the guy that doesn't fuck up the intro.
Haha.
I am the man of many names. Or just call me Kyle.
Man of many names again. I can dig it. The Mass Chris Massey is here as well.
All right.
Hello, Massey and Chris.
The big three from last week has returned.
Yeah, look at that.
We're kind of like the Spurs.
Yeah,
We're not flashy.
in more ways than one.
But we're solid.
We'll get the job done for you guys.
That's right. And we'll be on like a weird time every night.
Yeah.
We usually start at 8:04
Right.
Eastern Standard Time.
You stick around for like the first 8 minutes of the game, and you're like, oh, I forgot something else is on. But that's us.
Hello, friends.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. Machine wasn't going to be on, but then we got some breaking news that I think he is joining us a little bit later. So
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
TBD. But hey, listen, let's get into it. Starting lineups.
Football hasn't started yet. No TBDs.
But baseball has been here for a while, and there's always TBDs.
That's right.
What the fuck are they showing me?
Starting lineups, gentlemen.
OPS, it's fucking whack. Sorry,
I'm just drinking water. Taking it easy tonight.
From Two Roads, Mega Juicy.
Mega juicy.
Whoa. Souls, I'm kind of taking the same route. Also from Two Roads, I have Unorthodox, a Russian Imperial Stout.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who bought that for you?
This is part of the, I believe,
Riddler, correct.
It is the Riddler collection, and I think this dates all the way back to Maple, if I'm not mistaken.
That's not going to be a good beer.
Well, it's a stout, so it has aging properties. And I've had this beer.
Kendall, that was like 10 years ago.
Well, listen, the stouts are
In
kind
a
of...
can.
No, it's a bottle. It's a bottle, and it's been in many people's basements, including my own, more than once. It was bottled...
I can't wait to hear how bad that beer is.
I have high hopes for this. It was bottled on January 4th, 2017.
You got high hopes.
Who are you, Brendan Urie?
And I also have a nip of Jägermeister, which I will be having intermittently.
Ooh, I had a nip of Jameson Orange earlier.
Oh, look at you, souls. Any toast of excellence?
Just so many.
Well, let's get into it, man.
I don't have any.
There's just so many that I have none.
And we're the Spurs, everyone.
Like I said, we're not flashing. We're not always prepared.
Kyle, you were something else, my friend.
Yeah, dude, we know.
Go ahead, Kendall.
I have two. Because I'm a scrub and I have to make note of anything uniform jersey.
We know.
Yeah, the Reds have unveiled their what's the name of that game? The
fucking Field of Dreams
Field
game.
of Dreams
Cockbag.
I was gonna say something stupid. I didn't want to make a mistake, so I wanted to double check.
First of all, who gives a shit about that game?
Well, it's a bummer because it's not the game anymore. Now it's just like two random teams playing in a field.
Who are bad.
Yeah. But the jerseys are kind of cool, dating back to that era. And
hey, Luke Voigt is hitting right now.
Nice. My second is, I don't know if you guys caught during the Astros or Red Sox series.
I'll be right back on, guys.
Okay.
Good.
The mascot, his name's escaping me, had set up two charts, like pronunciation and what...
For who? Who's mascot?
The Astros. And so it would be like park, and then the Boston translation is PAK, and
That's very funny.
It's just like
Just
humorous,
like the Bostonian accent. Kind of
exactly. It had
translation.
like a bunch of like pictures set up, and like they went through all the normal kind of like
They go into
hijinks.
the pack.
Exactly, that type of stuff. So it was a fun jab that they kind of got on Boston there.
The mascot's name is Orbits.
Orbits, okay.
We also, I think, need to do a quick sip of silence. Unless we missed it last week. When did Vin Scully pass?
I don't think we did it last week because I think we did Bill Russell. I think it occurred after we were last on, so I think we'll do one anyway.
Yeah, so we'll give him he passed away on August 2nd, so literally the day after. So we'll do a sip of silence for good old Vin in a minute. We don't really do private stock anymore, so I'll give a toast of excellence to the Cardinals sweeping the Yankees in their series this weekend.
Hey, there you go.
And Mock isn't here, so I can't really rub that in. But
I was looking in. We'll wait for Kyle to do our
sip of silence. Yeah.
I was looking in the PPRN studio underneath the stairs where we keep a lot of our stuff. It's a lot of expired beer that's going to be dumped out, but all our bottles of our individual private stocks are still here.
Disgusting.
And I think I ended up finishing mine many months ago, but I think there's still like some liquid in people's bottles, which I'm sure is just like the worst swill you could possibly imagine. I think
you couldn't pay me $1 million to drink that.
I think at some point we should bring it back.
I think we should.
It's fun. Maybe you do like make your own private stock. It's got to be at least 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
For it to count.
Good.
We'll wait for Kyle. We'll do our crack 'em. If you haven't,
yep.
I know Masters uses water, but.
I can't wait to hear how bad that beer is. I want to know your immediate reaction when you drink it.
All right. First sip. Not bad. Not bad.
I don't believe you.
Not what I expected. Now, I'll preface this by saying I've had this type of beer before. From Two Roads, I've had Unorthodox. I think most recently, however, I had it at the brewery. And we're talking probably around the same time period that this was bottled. So my memory is a little skewed on what it was.
Yeah, so Kendall, what's a normal person's probable reaction to that? Because you're not bad for beer means you'll literally drink this water.
Well, I mean, it's different. I have like there are beers I won't drink, and I'll. The thing for me is I hate waste. So even if something is like not good, I'll still just get it over with. It's 12 ounces. If you can't be able to like deal with 12 ounces of alcohol, come on.
Well, that is a philosophy that stems from your father. So
very true. It's 9.2%. Now I don't know if over time, it increases like the bourbon counties do.
Paul I guess you're going to find out when you try and drive home later.
That's why I only brought one. Played it smart, and the nip of Jaeger will be kind of like the the keep things going through the show.
Yeah, there you go.
In fact, I have a little bit now.
Wash out that bad stale taste.
No, it's good. I like it. It wasn't what I expected. And also, people who this is I'm calling anyone out who doesn't just shoot a nip all in one shot. Like, come on. Give it a rest.
Well,
but
that's my wife. She can't do shots.
Well, listen, there's some shots, easier than others, and Jaeger's
definitely... No. Like, she's just not physically capable of doing shots. I don't know what it is, but she's broken in that way.
All right, well, I don't know if she's listening in the same room, but we're going to take her through shot boot camp. A rigorous...
I'd like to see you try. I will sit on the sidelines and watch this.
It's a 2-week program where you drink 10 out of the 14 days with 4 recovery days. There's a graduation ceremony where you have graves. Very funny. But so normally I would just drink it in one go, but I'm going to kind of nurse this, for, show's purpose.
So I was going through a lot of stuff at my mom's house, and a lot of stuff there from when we moved up here, and my dad left for wherever the fuck he was. And he has a lot of just random sports memorabilia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had a lot of like old valuable baseball cards. Dude didn't collect baseball cards, so I don't know why he had them.
Well, how old are we talking?
1960s.
Wow.
1970s. And I didn't know what to do with them, so I gave them to Bruce because almost all of them were Yankees, and he has them on display at his house now. There's a football down there that is signed, and for the life of me, I can't figure out who signed it. I need to have like some expert inspect it, and it's going to be fucking Romeo Crennel or something like that. I don't know. Probably not even. And then I was going through another thing, and I found a baseball, and it's a baseball signed by Joe Torre. Like, still in its wrapping and everything, still has its like sticker of authenticity and everything like that. Just unassumingly sitting in my mom's basement.
I mean, that's a pretty decent find.
Yeah, the one that cuts deep, and I'm very happy Kyle's not here to hear this. So on my 13th birthday, the basement at my mom's house flooded.
Uh-oh.
And we lost a lot of stuff. So there had been a bunch of pictures from when we lived in Florida, and there was one that I always saw, and I knew it was a baseball player. I never gave it a second look because I didn't really care about baseball, so I'm sure I wouldn't have recognized the guy. I was digging through her house last year, and that picture was still down there. It is ruined because of the water damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's started to disintegrate. It was a signed full frame, like I'm talking like bigger than your average poster, signed full frame painting of Ken Griffey Jr.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who knows what the value of something like that would be, and it's something you just take for granted. And it's like in hindsight, it's like if you'd known. It's odd though. It's odd that like, with no ties to the team or player really. That
yeah, I mean, he had such random bullshit. I know for a fact that they won that picture at an auction. I don't remember what that picture or what the auction was for, but I know that they won that at an auction. But like the most random shit. So he had those baseball cards. He had a signed painting of Ken Griffey Jr. He had a fucking Chris Sims Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey.
That is so weird.
Like, the most random shit is what he had. It's so weird.
No, wait, that Chris Sims jersey, do you have that now? Is that?
I do.
I feel like I've seen that jersey.
You have.
That has made its way into the fold of your items.
Yes, that is at my house currently.
Yes, like, none of those like have any ties whatsoever.
No, not at all.
It's just like generic sports bar memorabilia.
It really is. It's the weirdest, but some of it is valuable.
Yeah, I bet you.
I have a signed, like, from all 11 members of the original Harlem Globetrotters basketball.
That's pretty cool. I couldn't tell you.
It was the game ball, and I took a picture with them. That's somewhere at my mom's house.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about like that type of thing, but I know that has almost like greater than just sports value. Because that's a worldwide known,
right?
Excuse me, whatever you want to call that.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, right. I bet you like some of those cards because like during that.
Oh,
era,
I priced some of those cards.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, they're very valuable cards.
And I don't know a thing about that. You know, Paul is super into it. And he gets like every year the books that has like the changing values and stuff. I mean, nowadays with the internet, you can get at the push of a button, you can know the value of something and what it is. Blah blah blah. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you the furthest thing. But it's interesting because, like, during that era, like your dad's age being a kid, that's what everybody did was collect baseball cards. It was just like a thing. So, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that he had stuff. But I guess the surprise would be the value that it turned out to be.
And again, some of the stuff is fucking worthless. Like Chris Sims' Tampa Bay jersey. Why did they even make those?
Listen, they thought things were going to be different.
Chris Sims, if you're listening, you fucking suck and I hate you.
And I hope you are listening.
But yeah, it just makes me so mad some days. I stumble upon it randomly. Like my mom's house is a treasure trove of this stuff. So it's my dad's house. I wandered through his house and I was like, oh, what's it? Okay, that's worth $400.
Now, do you have the ability? Like, is it yours to sell? Is you like, I'm kind of good on this?
It's at my mom's house. He didn't get a say anymore.
Oh, well, so I guess, do you just have free reign to do whatever you want with it?
Yeah, it's all mine.
Are you going
to what?
Are you going to exercise that option to sell and see if you can make a little money, or?
No, Kendall, I'm not selling you the baseball.
No, I don't care don't worry about me. I meant for you.
That's just cool stuff to have in the basement. That's gonna be a man cave thing. I have an autographed Joe Torre baseball that I didn't know I had.
Was he a player or a coach?
At the time of the signing, I'm not sure. I think he was probably a coach.
Not to say player, no good. So my brother called me, and he argued with me about Dominguez, and I think he was talking about somebody different.
That's pretty funny.
He was like, Dominguez is trash. I'm like, he's the only good reliever that we can count on. He was like, I'm like, are you thinking of other people?
That is a very your brother thing to have happen. Calls you, makes it seem like it's really important. It's nonsense. And then it's just talking about two different things.
He was telling me he did a mock draft and he had the 8th pick. All right.
A mock draft for baseball?
Football.
Oh.
He had the 8th pick and he picked Derrick Henry.
Now, you guys are mock draft people, aren't you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So Massey is, and I know Mock is for sure.
Yeah, I'm not.
Kyle, what the fuck are you talking about? You make us do mock drafts every year before the draft.
No, I don't.
I think we have done some in the past.
Are we talking mock drafts for fantasy or in real life? Or like for the NFL?
Well, I meant like, so you sit down like this time of year and you're practicing for your group's fantasy draft.
Oh, no, fuck that. That's stupid.
Yeah. I was like, Massey, what the fuck?
But
I thought we were talking about like the actual NFL draft.
No. Like, so, but I know for sure Mock does this. He's been on record. We've talked about it. Like, he'll sit down at work or at home, and he'll go on. Because you can go on like CBS, ESPN, and you could just join a random like mock draft to practice like scenarios.
I pretty much just know who I want going into it.
Yeah.
And if that guy doesn't get to me, then my whole strategy fails. Like I have in the first round, I have my eyes set on like 3 guys.
Well, you guys should really go with my way. You just have a zero plan, drink too much beer, and then hope you get lucky.
And draft Julio Jones with the first pick.
Haven't done that in the past year. Not doing it again.
Did he get hurt?
No. Evans is dead.
Somebody said to me he tore his hamstring.
Mm-mm.
Those fuckers.
Trying to get you off the trail.
No, Julio's fine. Hurt.
Good. He's going to be so good with Tom Brady for 1 year. And then
you mean for like 2 weeks?
No. He's going to have the avocado juice. He's back to normal.
The avocado juice. I love it already.
Kyle, normal for Julio is hurt.
Yeah, but he's just going to be less hurt.
Fantasy owners, keep this in mind in your draft.
I'm not high on him, but if he's there in the last round, I'll take a shot on him.
Oh yeah, for sure for the last round.
Annabelle Sanchez is back, Kendall.
Is he?
Having a 7.29 ERA.
Nice.
Fits the bill for the Nationals.
Did you guys see Christian Kirk got hurt?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Let's see. Can I get details?
The only injury I've seen thus far, like receiver-wise, Tim Patrick got
James
hurt.
Washington. Yeah, James Washington got hurt too.
Yeah.
And
let's see.
Those guys are both done for the year?
Washington heads out like 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. But Patrick's done for the year, right?
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Poor guy.
Yeah.
He was so good for 4 weeks last year.
That means
Hey,
he was
so, am I the only one rooting for the Broncos to fucking fail this year?
I can give two shits.
Yeah, I mean, did you just say that because of Russell Wilson?
Yes.
All right, well, now
For everything that they did, for all the shit that they're talking. Like, did you hear this shit? Like, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I think the Chargers are the best team in that division.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Kyle. Like, I don't care about what the Broncos do. But I mean, I don't have a disdain for Russell Wilson because he never played in my division, so I really have no say.
Browns are going to suck, though.
Like, this is a real tweet that was sent out by who is this person? I want to specify who this person is. James Palmer from the NFL Network. Broncos are going through a mental rep period. Heard this about Wilson. He literally visualizes every aspect like it's an in-game play. Visualizing a pass rusher, moves in the pocket, etc. I was told by a few players it's like a next level type of mental rep they've never seen.
I will admit
that. Like, what the fuck?
That is pretty like farty football talk. That is annoying. That bothers me.
Taylor said Troy Polamalu had Jesus on his side. So.
Yeah, but that's like Taylor saying that. Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah, I kind of hate that also. That's also. We'll go ahead,
it
Matt.
just made me so fucking mad when I read that. It's like, who the fuck? I hope they bomb. I hope they lose to the Seahawks in week 1.
It was just like such unnecessary information, and it doesn't mean anything. Football is really good for stuff like that.
Did you ever see that interview?
Bad. Which one?
The Ike Taylor Pat McAfee one.
Is that the one where McAfee's describing he had the perfect play?
Yeah.
And he had audible. So I know that, but I don't know. I've never seen or heard the full interview.
It's so funny.
It's such a good thing. So essentially, I'll give the brief rundown, but you should go watch it. Essentially what happened is they have this 100% play. If they're like within 10 yards of the end zone and it's 4th and goal and they're on this hash mark, they have 100% play.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever it is, there is going to be like a wide open C gap on the left-hand side and you just trot in for the touchdown. Troy Polamalu has never lined up over the side of that his entire career. They call that play, they get in there, and Troy is just sitting in the C gap. And Pat just apparently stands there and just fucking stares at him. And then they end up just kicking the field goal instead.
Pat just has this energy.
Pat is so fucking funny. I love him.
Dude, you know what's funny? Like the most underrated part of the whole interview was AJ Hawk after.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me that your coaches had that much confidence in you?
It's so funny. It's definitely worth a watch. It's only like
Polamalu could have easily got him, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even if he wasn't there, if he was on the other side, he probably still would have tackled him.
Yeah, it's not like he's slow.
But he's a kicker. Although he did have one of the best kicker tackles of all time. No, punter, wasn't he?
Punter, he's a punter.
Yeah, punter. Sorry. He did have one of the best punter tackles of all time.
Dude, he's awesome. Pat McAfee's he was a good athlete.
He's a good guy.
He's actually one of the first...
You ever win the punt pass kick?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know that Mike Tomlin wanted him in Pittsburgh 100 times.
He was one of the first guys that was the puncher who did kickoffs.
He just had better legs than old leg Vinatieri.
Yeah.
You guys remember? Excuse me, wrong pipe. When he retired and everybody gave him shit because he was going into social media and making his own podcast and whatever, and people were like, "What the fuck is he doing, leaving all this money on the field?"
Yeah, he's doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah. Who's laughing now?
Let's see. Pat McAfee, FanDuel deal, 4-year, $120 million contract with FanDuel.
Yeah, my God.
I think he's doing pretty good.
What's his SmackDown deal?
Let's see. Pat McAfee, WWE salary.
Do you think if I have Pat McAfee to pay off my student loans, he'll do it?
Yep.
I don't know. I think you have to give a pretty enticing offer.
According to FanDuel's reporters, it doesn't say how much.
It's got to be close to $1 million.
Well, it's weird.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
He initially signed as to be on the roster, and then kind of it transitioned into him being on the announced team. So I don't know what money is different in that regard, but
I mean, he still gets in the ring occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, he's already fought in 2 pay-per-views, and it's been pretty good.
So the guy just getting flows of money in.
Oh yeah, and he's just living his best life while doing it.
Yeah, I don't think his wife gives a shit.
No, his wife is super cool.
Does he do his show every weekday?
Every weekday except for in the summer, I think.
Because though I do I never catch it. I never think to even how they break it down on YouTube and all that. I never think to look.
No. He just streams it straight on YouTube.
No, but I mean you can catch
in sections.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
I was big on his show, then I kind of stopped watching it.
Well, it's like anything. You can only be a slave to so many things on TV or podcasts. I'd love to know if anyone's listened to every single one of our episodes.
There's no shot. We barely have one listener a week.
That's not true.
Shout out to that one guy.
2.
Or lady.
I used to listen to all the shows because I had to. And then stopped doing that a long time ago.
Or TV if you go by the TV, you know what I'm saying?
Apparently, the Panthers are starting to shop Darnold. And nobody wants them because of that contract.
He's going to fucking Cleveland.
Would be hysterical.
Yeah, what a mess that would be.
The Browns are already a mess.
It's just a weird change of goods from Cleveland to Carolina.
Aaron Rodgers came out today and said he's going to retire at the end of his current contract.
Which falls
in
2 years?
3 to 4 years.
We got time.
So where do you...
They also made it a point to tell us that Rodgers was going to hang out with his family again.
Yeah, well, I don't like that. How much do you think his legacy is affected if he only finishes with the 1 ring?
I don't think it's affected at all.
No, I mean, I think if he really craps the bed these next 380 whatever years, I think that might have impact. But I don't think they'd even let it get to that point. Even Brett Favre, sure, they let him play through some really bad times, but I think the difference was that I think Brett was less. I feel like Aaron has kind of made a glass in a way. If he gets hurt, then I think he's out for a while. Brett Favre, I think he would get hurt and he'd be back in at least 2 games time.
Right. All right. So let me ask you this then: where do you think he falls currently all time?
Just on quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd probably going to put him in the top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah.
You think he's better than Elway, Montana, Young? currently Breeze,
I think he's better than
Manning,
Breeze.
Brady.
I don't know.
Marino.
I've never seen the other two guys play. I've only seen Rodgers play.
That's fair.
And then what we've seen from Rodgers is a Hall of Fame MVP quarterback. He hasn't always had the greatest weapons around him.
No, he hasn't. But he's also never made it back to the Super Bowl.
But it's not all on him
Right?
either. You got that fucking tight end, Richard Rodgers, who dropped the onside kick. You got a lot of fucking ridiculous plays that happen to him.
Yeah. Well, I think it's half and half. I think, Kyle, you're right. There has been some bad luck for the Packers. But you think about those guys, and that's always sort of been a criticism on Peyton Manning. It's like when sometimes the moments were big, you didn't show up. And I don't know. Maybe...
But it's like, but he does show up because that game where the Cardinals came back, where like they scored a touchdown at the end of the game to go to overtime against the Cardinals. It's not Rodgers' fault that fucking Larry Fitzgerald ripped off a big ass run.
No, I totally agree. I think there's been some fluky stuff that has happened, and there's been some fluky stuff on their side too. That was good. Like, I mean, the guy had 2 Hail Marys in one season. It's like it's like unheard of.
That was the fail Mary and against the Lions, right?
There was that, and he threw one in the Cardinal game in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that too. I forgot about that.
That put him to overtime, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Jacob Junis, he sucks. Also, that might not be his name. That's a picture.
Jeff Janis, you mean?
There we go.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Jacob Junis.
He's a pitcher for the Giants.
I don't believe that.
He is. He played for the Royals.
I also don't believe that.
I like to think that somewhere both those guys just turn their head. Oh my God! Someone said my name.
What was the name?
Jacob Junis.
Jacob.
Jakob.
Okay.
Junis.
Junis.
Also, we should see if there's a picture of him and Jeff Janis together.
Oh my God! There was a player named Jake Junis.
He still plays. He played for the Giants. I'm not lying to you.
Kyle, I'm sorry. 90% of the time you are, so.
I'm still saying we search Jacob Junis, Jeff Janis, and just throw an airport for good measure.
Jeff Janis. Okay.
See if there's a picture of them together anywhere that's ever existed.
Google says no.
Damn.
Would have been very funny.
Maybe one day.
Look at fucking Annabelle Sanchez turning back time.
Do you want me to at them on Twitter and see if I can get something?
I don't think they even know each one exists.
Hey, you guys should meet up for a photo.
I need it for a bet.
That would be really funny. That pops up 2 weeks later.
So while we're talking about football, you guys want to talk about some preseason battles that are going on?
Yeah.
Mass, you in?
What are we talking about?
Training camp battles.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk.
Well, we can't really go with the Carolina Panthers one because they just came out and said it's Baker's job to lose.
Right.
They came out today.
I mean, that whole situation, I think, is nothing like they expected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
once they traded for Baker, you kind of knew he was the guy.
Well, right, but I think hey, we had 4 quarterbacks, all kind of eligible.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks. This is an interesting one. Geno Smith and Drew Lock.
So there hasn't been a whole lot of reports that I've seen coming out about who's really winning it.
There was a report today about Drew Lock took the right step.
Yeah, it's weird too because, in your head, it's like, oh, well, Drew Lock's going to be the guy. But at the same token, Geno has had success in his time playing. It hasn't really materialized to a starting job, but he's won football games. It's like
right.
He's played well for Seattle in particular.
So I mean, it does create an interest. It's not just here's the car keys, Drew, go nuts. If I were a betting man, I still think Drew Lock will be the guy come time. But it would be interesting. Even I don't know how much athleticism Gino kind of left out. He's got to be what in his 10th year. Would that make sense?
Gino?
Yeah.
8, maybe.
I'd be curious to know.
Geno Smith was drafted in 2013.
Okay. So this is his 9th year.
Yes.
So if he has a little bit of juice left, if they could come up with a
well, you gotta think about it. He hasn't really played all that much. He probably has a bunch of juice left.
Oh.
Well, I just mean like over time, your body slows. Like even if you don't get hit a lot. But Mass.
Real quick, name the 4 teams he's played for.
Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Are we talking? We're talking West Virginia is one of them.
No. NFL teams.
He played for the Seahawks, the Jets, the Giants, and what's that other team?
Be very surprised if you get this.
I can't see him anywhere else but those 3.
Fun fact, he did play in a game there.
Did he?
Appeared in 5 games, actually.
Did I get the conference?
AFC.
Titans.
No. Kendall, do you want to jump in on that?
You know, I have no idea.
Fun fact, gentlemen. He played for the Chargers of Los Angeles.
Oh, you know what? I remember that now. Now that you
really,
said
because I don't, and I'm reading it.
I remember that.
All right. Anyways, continue, Kendall, about your Drew Lock conspiracy.
Oh well, no, just that if they could find a way, and maybe that they use both. You know, they love this gadget thing now in the NFL, where a guy comes in to do just one thing, and maybe Geno Smith could be that. Because I think Seattle's they got nothing to lose. I think they have the ability to kind of experiment.
I hope they do better than the Broncos this year.
Here's the thing, because they just signed DK to this big deal. It's not like they don't have weapons. They have a better tight end than they've ever had. And
who's their tight end? Oh, Noah Fant. I forgot he went there.
So it's like...
And then you still got Tyler Lockett.
Hmm?
Then you still have Tyler Lockett, right?
Yep.
No, I think you're right, Kyle. It's not like there's a bunch of nobodies on offense there. I think defensively things are a little bit different than we remember, and I just feel like they're the 3rd or 4th best team in that division.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, he's whatever. He's a linebacker. He's not a safety.
Not even close.
He should be a linebacker, not a safety.
Not even good at that.
Guy's got Ike Taylor hands.
Hey, Ike Taylor had some picks.
Yeah, he also dropped like 37 of them.
Hey, the pass breakup. It counts towards something.
Is it a pass breakup if the pass is to you?
As far as I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Because he said that in the interview too. He's like, God gave me the ability to run, not to catch. And then we got the Steelers. This is saying Mitch Trubisky versus Kenny Pickett. But I think it's Mitch Trubisky versus Mason Rudolph.
You think Pickett starts right away?
I don't think Pickett sees the field at all this year. I think Mitch Trubisky, I think they ride it out with him. And a lot of people are saying Mason looks very good. And that scares me.
I think there's too much, riding on signing Mitch to not do anything with him. It seems like too much of a waste. I think you're right. I think Pickett sits, and I'm hoping it's for the best. I think we've seen...
Well, not for nothing, but you didn't sign him for nothing. You signed him in case you didn't get somebody in the draft.
Yeah.
Right. Of which I think initially I didn't want, and we've said it on multiple occasions, we didn't want Pittsburgh just to pick a quarterback for the sake of picking a quarterback. But I think at the end of the day, that was their guy they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out.
This is going to be the most interesting preseason in our existence as Steeler fans.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 quarterbacks have a chance.
Yeah. I just worry because, and I don't remember as the time goes on, you think about it less and less. Did Rudolph have other good training camps in preseasons, but it just didn't matter because he was never going to really see the field unless
But
Ben got hurt.
he was never that bad though.
No, I agree. Excuse me. I think he was
Do you,
serviceable.
though?
Well, I think when it came down to like when
I
there's
thought you were talking about Trubisky for a minute.
when it came down to a situation where it was like him and Duck Rogers, I was like, oh well.
Mason Rudolph has a very, very beautiful deep ball. Can't do anything else beside it. His deep ball is very accurate. Now, what they should do is put Mason Rudolph in only on deep balls and let Trubisky play the rest.
Up at 2nd and 8. What are they going to do?
Mason's on the field, cover 3.
I also want to bring this up for 1 second. The Steelers got a steal with Deontay Johnson.
It was
I thought that
Yeah.
was a very good contract.
what was that? The numbers on it?
It was 2 years, $36 million. So they're pretty much saying, here, you have 2 years to fucking prove your worth.
Yep.
It's yeah,
I'm
right.
very all right with that deal.
Yeah, it's kind of low risk, and it seems
They
that
gave him the money that he wanted.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill him in the cap. And if he turns out to be fantastic, then I'm cool with it. If he sucks, he's only got 2 more years.
Right.
So I'm very happy with that deal. Then we have 2 running back ones back to back. The Bills with Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and James Cook. I think you could eliminate Zach Moss.
Nah, he's going to start this year and get 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
Think so?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, Moss was kind of the guy. Took a step back this year. Singletary definitely took steps forward. I don't know if they're going to take a page out of like the 49ers book where, hey, we run the hot hand or.
Well, I think eventually James Cook gets the job. But I think Devin Singletary wins it out of the camp. Because toward the end of the season, he was looking good.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's definitely the roles are established. Moss, I think, is a bigger back, and they kind of use him for just, downhill running. Moss
fumbles way too much.
He does.
And I think Singletary has the ability to be a pass-catching running back, and I think it's, in today's
He also
NFL.
fumbles a lot, though.
But these guys are both, what, in their 4th year?
No,
they're in like their 3rd.
Moss came in a year after Singletary. I know that.
So he's in his 2nd.
2nd and 3rd. So basically, hopefully, this is the time now that you get rid of those fumbling bugs. Like, if you don't do it by now, then there's not really a lot of hope for you. But I think this is the corner that you go around by this time in your career. If maybe you figured it out, and then your coaches finally instilled it in your head to protect the ball. Maybe. The whole Tiki Barber syndrome. That guy fumbled forever until told him how to carry the football.
Yes, sir. Fuck Tiki Barber. He was overrated as shit. All right. And we got the Dolphins. They have so many fucking running backs.
Yeah, they
There's Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sonny Michel, Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, they got a shot. Wait, don't they have Ahmed too?
Yeah.
Yes, Salvin Ahmed.
Yeah, they got to shop one of those guys or 2 of them.
Gaskin's going to run the lead for them this year.
Who is?
Gaskin.
Think so?
Yep. Going to be a league rusher on that team.
I think Mostert is going to win the job out of camp. They get hurt week 1 after I draft him with like the 8th round pick.
Nope.
Here's the thing: one of those guys that get cut is going right to Pittsburgh. So
He's right, And if not Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
We need a backup running back. Because the one that we just signed is out for the year.
Who'd you sign?
Jeremy McNichols.
How did he get hurt?
Shoulder.
He got off the plane and fell. Like, welcome,
I read that.
Pittsburgh.
I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. You had this job in the fucking bag.
Yep. and I haven't heard a thing since.
I don't know why I get Benny Snell's a good special teamer.
Don't
He's
worry.
so goddamn slow.
We'll trade you guys Darrell Henderson.
Okay.
Probably for a 3rd round pick.
Can we give you a 5th?
Probably. We don't get great assets when we trade away our players.
I'm definitely in for that. But he's kind of the same fucking running back as Harris.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to get into this Cowboys one because James Washington's hurt for a while. This Packers one, it was Washington versus Tolbert.
For
who's going to win that 3rd wide receiver job or 2nd?
Oh, okay. I think that their rookie kid is probably going to win it just based on the
fact James Washington broke his foot.
Well, that and the reports on him have been very good coming out of camp.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's his name? Hold on. Romeo Dobbs. Dobbs?
That's
Dobbs?
the Packers. That's the Packers, man.
Who did you say? I thought I heard you say Packers.
I said Cowboys.
Oh.
But I was getting to the Packers. Because this article has Christian Watson versus Sammy Watkins versus Alan Lazard versus Randall Cobb versus Amari Rodgers versus Romeo Dobbs.
So I think that wide receiver room shapes out with oh dear Lord in heaven.
Lazard, Watkins, and Dobbs.
I was gonna say Lazard, fucking Cobb and Dobbs.
Well, here's the thing. I think Sammy Watkins is gonna have a fantastic week 1.
Oh yeah, and then he'll disappear for the rest of the 16 weeks.
But make sure you have him in the lineup in week 1. For all your fantasy players out there, week 1 is where Sammy Watkins does his damn.
I was so excited when we first got him.
Who were the Packers playing this week 1?
I got it.
I got it right here.
I'll tell you, what a weird room. Like
Vikings, get him in. Because the Vikings secondary is doo-doo.
Yeah, so that also goes for your fantasy owners. Don't start Vikings defense week 1. This is a twofold
Don't start the
problem.
Vikings defense ever. What are you talking about?
You know what, though? There's a few times in my day where I played the Vikings defense, and they've done fantastic things for me.
Yeah, they're good for like a 14-point game.
Because they'll cause some fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And like an occasional touchdown. Oh, wow. What a fucking shot.
Save that for your week 7, whatever that matchup is.
Week 7 Vikings.
It's gonna be terrible.
You guys want a fun fact?
Yes.
Today is my birthday.
It's not.
Fair point.
I am deadly serious about that Darrell Henderson trade, though. I really don't think he's going to be on the team by week 7. What?
Kendall.
What?
Do not play the Vikings defense week 7.
Who are they playing?
Nobody.
Oh. Well, you know what? If you want no points, play Vikings defense.
You know who's been very good defense to me in the last few years? The Dolphins.
Yeah, they weirdly show up sometimes.
Well, it's not that they
had the defensive head coach.
Last year they had a fucking defense that played like the worst 13 teams in a row. So I was like just riding that fucking train. Oh, man. That was funny. Mets are blowing this game.
Don't they always?
No, not always.
Most times?
Most times.
Okay. Right. Is there any other ones? Anyone you guys want to talk about?
I'm trying to think of interesting like balance. We don't really kind of know what's gonna shape up. Kind of similarly speaking, what do you think the Philadelphia Eagles running back situation is going to be like?
Well, it's going to be Miles Sanders till he tweaks his ankle.
And they love that Gainwell kid.
Dude, the head coach is wearing a shirt. He's wearing a Gainwell shirt. I'm like, that's not fucking biased. Who else is there? Jordan Howard on the back there at some point. That's what I want the Steelers to sign.
Now, was he just cut outright? Or was his
No, he's
contract?
free agent.
Oh, okay. And
Hey, did you guys know that Malcolm Butler went back to the Patriots?
Did he?
I did not know that.
I thought he retired.
I did too. Hold on.
It's a different Malcolm Butler. That would just be how it goes.
No, he plays with the Patriots. He got retired.
Gross.
Can't wait for him to be great again.
Can you imagine? It's like, welcome back, bitch. You learned your lesson?
Didn't he play well for the Cardinals, or am I just being an asshole?
You're being an asshole. You're not really being an asshole, but
he was not good for the Cardinals.
No,
that's a team he retired with, right?
correct.
Okay. Titans he was bad with.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of the whole Tennessee Patriots type of thing. You know, you done play there, go play for Mike Vrabel.
And when you're done there, go down to the Texans and play for Cornell.
Yeah. Got to cover all the former coaches before you end up going back to New England anyway.
Well, with preseason about to start, you guys want to make any bold predictions before the season starts?
Yes, we'll make some bold predictions.
I'll take the cake on the first one to get the making fun of out of the way. Lions make the playoffs.
Here we go.
The Detroit Lions make the playoffs.
All right. I think mine will be McCole Hardman really steps up and is the clear-cut number one in Kansas City.
All right. I think that Pickens is the best rookie wide receiver this year and has a year similar to
That's
this.
my boy, Mass. That is my boy.
Okay, apparently that's Kyle's boy.
As he comes through
you're
a slider.
my boy.
Oh, apparently I'm his boy. I like it.
That's my guy right there, Kendall.
Listen, he's a solid dude.
Do you want my spiciest reaction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric Carr wins MVP.
Wow.
That's not that bad, man. I'm on board with that. He has every fucking weapon possible.
He does, but then he has to beat out people like Brady and Rodgers.
He can do it.
He can. He absolutely can.
I'm a big fan of Derek Carr.
I am too. I love the emo boy.
Did you see the video of they let Hunter
Me and
Renfrow
Massey are agreeing.
they let Hunter Renfrow order the Uber and it was too small.
So funny.
And they're all jammed in
So
the car. His knees are up to his neck.
So I know it was
Right.
Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. Who was the other fucking guy in that car?
Hunter Renfrow,
There's one
Darren
more.
Waller.
Is that who it was?
In my
For,
head.
for what?
Who was in
What
that
was-
car?
Who? Wait, ask that question again.
Who was in the car besides Carr, Adams?
Oh
and
yeah,
Renfrow?
it was. No, it was just the three of them because Hunter Renfrow picked the car.
But I was thinking that Derek Carr was stuck in the middle. Adams was to his right, and then would have been a person on his left, and Renfro was in the front seat.
Give me a second.
But I could just be misremembering it. Still funny though, and almost funnier if there wasn't another person.
I don't think that there is.
Then that was really a small car. Then
Well, it's two huge fucking dudes.
no, I get it. I mean, listen, they're professional athletes, but at the end of the day, they're skill positions. They're not like that bulky.
Let's see. I'm watching the video right now.
This was
All right. It is somebody else. Give me a second.
That's just somebody random. Just It's
Yeah, who's another receiver on the team?
Mac Hollins is who it was.
You know what's bullshit about that guy?
What's that?
He's not good at all. But he'll catch like once in a while, like a 75-yard touchdown.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
He was
I don't even know who he is.
He played for the Dolphins for a while.
Okay.
You know,
I have a lot of spicy takes, so let me know when you guys are ready.
well, I'm ready.
I got one.
But real quick, you know what would make that video funnier?
What?
If it was the other Hunter Renfrow in the car.
Very funny.
Anyway, continue.
I think Jalen Waddle is a better receiver than Tyreek Hill this year.
Whoa.
I like it.
That still really surprises me. I don't know why.
Tyreek Hill at Dolphin?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I just thought he had such a good thing going. Why? I don't know.
Chiefs didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all about money.
Yeah. I mean, they are paying a ton of people right now, so. Let's see. Spicy takes. I think Miami has the best offense this year.
Well,
like the number one offense.
Michael Pittman is a top 5 receiver.
Yes. Subscribe.
all right, I got one for you.
Okay.
Also a top 5 YouTube channel.
After today's extension, Tucker has one of his worst kicking years of his career.
Ooh, spicy.
Let's just hope that's not the same for Boswell.
Well, I think unfortunately, I don't think there's not a comparison. You know, I don't think anyone's going to argue that Boswell's a better kicker. I like Boswell. I'm very happy we have him. But I think Tucker,
Steelers just like the guys that make everything from 40 and in, and then everything from 50 and above is a bonus.
Right. And I think we're still waiting for Tucker's crown to fall. I don't know who the next guy is going to be.
Justin Tucker does not sing opera well.
Hot take.
He does. He sings opera pretty well.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying.
It's always these fucking people that have multiple talents. And then there's us talking about it.
I mean, we have multiple talents, kind of.
Yeah, being dickheads.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a spicy one.
Luck comes out of retirement.
Who?
Luck.
Can you imagine?
Played for the Falcons.
That's very funny. I'm glad Paul's not here for this. I think the Bears win one game.
Wow.
I think the Bears are better than that.
I think they're better than that. I don't think that they do, though.
I do. I think the Bears are a fringe 8-win team.
Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but...
I mean, you're basically just saying that they're going to be the worst team.
Yes.
Do they have a pick next year?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Because if they don't, that would suck. The Texans are not the worst team in their division.
Let's see. 2023. They do have a first-round pick. Okay. The Trubisky trade.
Texans are a third-place team.
All right.
Titans are a last-place team.
Okay. I think that the Texans win probably 6 games this year. And I think Davis Mills continues to take steps forward. I don't know why, but I like the kid.
I think he's good, too.
I hope that this year he kind of has his, quote, breakout. You know what I mean? Even if it's
he's
just
a
like...
Stanford kid. Let him learn.
Yeah, I mean, even if he just goes ahead and throws, 18 touchdowns on the year.
Here's the thing. Who's going to replace him?
Yeah, really.
Nobody. All right, here's another one for you two. Najee Harris is going to be the leading rusher this year.
I hope so.
Hope he stays healthy and gets the 700 touches he's going to get.
I don't think he gets that many touches.
No?
They're doing whatever they can to not get him that many touches. But I do think his offensive line's a lot better.
Well, yeah. Allen Robinson for comeback player of the year.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's just going to happen.
I mean,
he plays in such a system that suits him.
The only other contender I can think of right now is Daniel Jones.
Marcus Mariota, comeback player of the year.
Ooh, okay. I take it back.
And I'm saying that because I do think Drake London's pretty solid. But that's why I asked you that question earlier, Mass. About who's their running back.
Yeah.
But then you could use Cordell Patterson in many different roles.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Pitts is unbelievable.
I think
the Falcons are a lot better than people think, too.
I think Sean Payton doesn't make it a year before he comes out of retirement.
Yeah, the Cowboys are firing Mike McCarthy.
Like mid-season. I don't think he makes it through the season without joining another team.
I believe it.
So much
Didn't
talk.
he sign an NBC deal or something like that?
He did.
Next year, Tony Romo becomes a head coach.
Oh, before we continue, a quick follow-up, Mass, because you kind of know things. The Drew Brees NBC thing was kind of ominous. Was there anything that was ever said about that?
About like why he left?
No, I mean, it was kind of decided if he was coming back or not. It was kind of like he'll decide when it's time. So I just never heard anything else from it. But
he's not done. He was privately let go by ESPN NBC because they were not huge fans of Brees.
But so is it final?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for NBC it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't worry. Him and Mark Sanchez.
Well, it's weird because I didn't think he was that bad on TV. I mean, he had some rough around the edges, but, his first time on, being as an analyst.
I want Aqib Talib to become like a color commentator.
Booker McFarland.
How dare you? How dare you sour Aqib Talib's name like that?
You guys want to jump off the football train for a little bit and go to the trade deadline stuff?
No, I want to stay on the football train. Yeah, let's go to the trade deadline.
All right. I have all the trades here, so I'm just going to read them to you, and then we'll talk about them. So the Padres acquired outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell for the Nationals for Luke Voigt, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, Robert Hassel III, James Wood, and Jarlin Susana. Mention Robert Hassel is the number one prospect in the Padres system. James Wood is number 14. Mackenzie Gore was the top pitching prospect in all of baseball before this year because he's no longer like a prospect. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Too much time. And C.J. Abrams was the not number one prospect before this year as well. I told Kendall this. I think this trade comes back to fuck with the Padres. With the Padres.
Yeah. Well, I mean, during our conversation,
I'm sorry, Kendall. James Wood is the number 3 prospect. Jarlin Susana is the number 14.
Okay. I think this comes down to a rental situation, which was interesting on the phone when we were talking. The Padres was my initial guess. And when we talked last week, I kind of went back on it, but it fell into fruition. So I think even though San Diego is chasing a lot, I mean, they won't catch the Dodgers. I think their whole thing is, hey, we hope we get in a wild card and make some noise.
I don't think they make the playoffs this year.
I don't think so either. I think it's a little too late.
Well, it's not late because they were the second wild card team before this weekend happened. But I think their pitching vastly overrated. I think Jake Cronenworth is one of the most overrated players in all of baseball. He's batting .230. There's no reason why he made the All-Star team. we've seen Josh Bell become very hot with the Pirates, and then he fell completely off. Juan Soto's not having his type of year. They just paid Joe Musgrove $100 million, but since he signed that, he's been terrible. Blake Snell's not what he used to be. Darvish is getting older.
10 wins for Darvish, though.
He's like 35. And it's going to take at least a month before Tatis gets back to full strength.
Right.
Like with his timing and everything. Like, yeah, he might come back next week, but I don't see his timing being there.
I think in general, there's more questions than answers for San Diego. Yeah, they made this move that was the most anticipated one of the trade deadline, I guess. But it didn't solve anything for San Diego. This didn't make San Diego a favorite. This wasn't like a move that, oh wow, the Padres are now in the driver's seat. That didn't occur at all. They got a good player for the last half of the year.
And they got embarrassed by the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even competitive.
Embarrassed. Like none of those games were even close. And the Dodgers, in my opinion, yeah, they have Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, but like, I think the Dodger team from last year is better than this year's Dodger team, even though the record says differently. It was my personal opinion. Dodgers are sick, like always.
Right. I mean, I can kind of see what you're saying. I'm of the opinion that it's just kind of like more the same. It's like the Astros thing. Like they're just kind of like perennial good. So it's kind of incidental. Like you almost don't even think about it year to year.
But like, so you're looking at the national side of it, right? They got a fucking steal. They got a number one prospect outfielder, right? So that's pretty much replacing Juan Soto. They got another outfielder that's number 3 in the system. So there's your staple for the outfield. They got a left-handed starter who dominated before, even though he kind of got hurt towards the end. I don't know nothing about Jordan Susanna, so I can't really say anything about him. And C.J. Abrams, who's a highly touted prospect. He might not be great with the bat, but he can definitely field. Nationals can anything they can get. And Luke Voigt's a good bat. He's not going to stick there long, but...
Well, it worked out for the Nationals because I guess they're going to have new ownership by next year. That's, I guess, why I heard that. And they felt they were in a position that they weren't going to be ready to make Soto's time worth it in the future. I don't know what...
But he's only 23.
But I think what...
22, 23.
I think what they're thinking is that they have the opportunity to have a whole team kind of come up together rather than waste 3 or 4 of Soto's good years, because it's like anything, you don't know. I think he's definitely a guy who's trending forward and will be good for a while. But what if he isn't? What if in 3 years' time he falls off and doesn't materialize? The Nationals got a lot more good baggage to work with.
Like we've said it 100 times now, right? Like you never know with prospects.
True.
Like you never know with prospects. They could all suck, but from what we know. But
which is nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
But in my opinion, I just think it's an unpopular opinion, and I might get shit for it. I think Juan Soto's overrated just by a little bit. Just by a little bit. I think he's a very, very good player, but I don't think he's like the next Trout or whatever.
Right. I can absolutely see that.
You know, I'm just going in order. This is by what the article is showing me.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers acquired Joey Gallo from the Yankees for Clayton Beeter.
Just hilarious. It's just like basically falling up.
Clayton Beeter is the number 15th prospect in the Dodgers organization. Which isn't a bad return for Gallo, for like what he was doing in New York.
Right.
I don't really have much to say on it, but since the trade, the Yankees are 0-5 and the Dodgers are 6-0.
Right. I think it's coincidence, and it could be one of those things where a change of scenery is needed. We always talk about there's certain guys that can't play in New York. Maybe this was just one of those situations. Time will tell.
Listen, we know that Gallo's never going to hit for average. It's just who he is. What he brings is a power bat with a good center field. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what Yankee fans didn't understand.
Right.
They thought Gallo was going to... Go ahead, Gallo.
Right. And people at home, don't get it twisted. Like, Gallo was a household name before this. It's not like, oh, this guy was in the Yankees and then all the lights were on him and then he couldn't. He played good ball before.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's not far off from an all-star year with... It's 1 year. From an all-star year with 30-plus home runs. Yankee fans thought they were going to get 75 home runs from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't make that much contact. And he's never made that much contact. He's going to provide you good defense with a left-handed power. That's it. He's better than Aaron Hicks, and I will stay true to that.
Even though that person was laughing in the background at you.
Mm-hmm. Red Sox acquired Eric Hosmer and 2 prospects for cash and Padres left fielder. For left-handed pitcher Jay Groom. So what happened with this is that Hosmer declined the trade to Washington because he was originally part of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trading him to Washington, they traded him to Boston to make room to play Bell. Which I think that's just a lateral move because Hosmer was having a good year.
Now, on the Hosmer side, I don't know really the extent of his deal. Did he have a list of teams that he wouldn't go to and that's why that happened? Or do you have like a more...
I honestly don't know the answer to that. But I just know that the Padres wanted to trade him. But like he was like the one carrying that offense for a little bit. So it doesn't make much sense. And you could have DH'd him. Or you could have put Josh Bell in the outfield.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how that all played out. And kind of like a bounce back, too.
And, yeah, like Jay Groom, he was a top-rated prospect for a while, but I don't know anything after that. Like, that's all I remember from him. I remember when he got drafted, but that was it. I don't know how good he's been. So that trade's kind of tough for me. I'm not too sure about it. But the Red Sox got Hosmer and 2 prospects, so I think the Red Sox won that trade. Because they have Hosmer for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the next one. Phillies acquire right-handed pitcher Noah Syndergaard for Mickey Moniak and Jadel Sanchez. You guys have anything to say about that one before I go in?
Well, I mean,
I never heard.
Well, I'll say, from the Phillies side, they got exactly what they needed. The biggest, I think, need was have that number 4 or 5 starter. You get that in Syndergaard, and coming from his time in the Mets, pitched very well. I think his time in Los Angeles was kind of oddly spent. Not a bad time, just odd if that makes any sense. It wasn't exactly kind of I think how either side pictured. So I think it's a big win for Philadelphia getting him, who's in the wild card hunt. They're I think 60 wins at this point.
Yep, they're 60 and 48. So here's a couple of things about this trade why I didn't mind it. The Phillies came out and said they wanted a guy that could pitch in the postseason. He had postseason experience, for one. Syndergaard's velocity is not what it once was, but that's only a year coming off the Tommy John.
Yeah.
But the Phillies didn't acquire him to be a top-of-the-line starter. They acquired him to be the 4 or 5. Like, he pitched against the Nationals. He gave up 11 hits in 5 innings. He gave up 4 runs. I'm comfortably saying that he only gave up 7 of those hits were weakly hit. But it was also his first time with JT Realmuto. That has a lot to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know his stuff yet.
Right.
And they gave away Mickey Moniak, who had not once prove that he can be a big league center fielder with the Phillies.
Well, I think it's important to mention too, and it's not a shot at the Phillies, but the team is not known for tear it up on the defensive side of the field.
No, they're not. But we'll get into that later when we see the other acquisition. Then we got Massey. I don't know if you know who this guy is, or I don't know if Kendall knows who this guy is. Twins acquired starting pitcher Tyler Mahle in the Reds for 3 prospects.
Couldn't tell you.
Kendall, do you know who that is?
I've seen the name on a scorecard, but I don't really know. I don't know anything about him.
He's okay. It's a Twins move. They traded. Apparently they traded their 7th ranked prospect for him. They're 18th and they're 23rd. He has good stuff, but his numbers never really came out to what they should be.
Twins are in second place, right? For
they're in first place
of the Central.
Mm-hmm, they're in first place.
Well, that's so close. They're all separated by 3 games.
Yeah, White Sox made a push. The Guardians aren't terrible. It's another one of those trades that's hard for me to analyze because I'm not going to sit here and say I know all these minor league players. I don't. I just follow Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tyler Mahle has a 4+ ERA, which is a good for a 4 or 5. He's better than a Dylan Bundy or whoever else they have. He kind of fits the same bill as a Dylan Bundy and Sonny Gray. So it's just another twin starter with a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Braves acquired Rafael Iglesias for Jesse Chavez and Tucker Davidson. You guys have anything to say about that one?
No, all I'll say is that the Braves find themselves in a situation right now in second place in the NL East. They had a rough series versus the Mets, dropping 4-5. But it's a team that I think is not going to go away quietly. So I think their thinking is just trying to bolster any loose ends. And the Braves is a pain to Kyle and myself. They always seem to be in it. No matter what, they add the players that matter the most.
They got themselves a guy that can close for them if needed, but he's also not been dominant this year. I don't know if it's the angel curse or whatever, but he hasn't been himself. But the Braves are taking on a decent amount of money because this year he signed a 4-year, $58 million contract. So, and they gave up a left-handed starter with a little bit of promise. He's okay. I've seen him once against the Phillies. He got rocked. And then Jesse Chavez, he's 45. He's been around forever.
Yeah, just important to note his age here.
He's not 45, but he's old. So the Angels sold low on him.
I think in a way too, the Angels are kind of clearing house.
Yeah, there's no way that. Oh my lord! Ohtani is a Angel next year. No shot.
You think he gets traded?
I think he's going to be a free agent.
Is he?
Yeah.
Maybe. He might
like
just like
free
it
agent
there.
after next year. No, he's
Yeah.
going on record
2024.
saying, not winning starts to take its toll or whatever.
And it's crazy because the Angels were solid in the beginning of the season. And then they just fell off. And then we have the Blue Jays acquiring Whit Merrifield for Samed Taylor and Max Castillo. The Royals should have traded Whit Merrifield 2 or 3 years ago. They could have got a lot more for him.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't speak on this too well. To me, this just seems like a moving of bodies. It's like, hey, we want...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't really have much more to say than that. I can't really speak on it.
because I'm a big fan of Whit Merrifield. I liked him for a while. When he was that World Series run for the Royals, he was a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that hits for average and a guy that can steal bases. Right, this year he started off slow and got traded to a team that he's very well protected.
It's funny. It seems like a place he would play.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those.
The problem was he wasn't vaccinated, but he got vaccinated right away. Massey, I'm interested in your take on this one.
I don't have a take, Kyle.
Yeah, you do. Cardinals acquire Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader.
I know Ashley was upset.
Were you?
Ashley was. She was upset to lose Montgomery.
Oh, Ashley was upset?
Yeah.
As a Cardinal fan, I'd be pretty hyped about this trade.
Yeah, I was pretty happy because I know Montgomery's a really good pitcher.
He's 29. And, like the Yankees put him out of the bullpen toward the end of his run with them, because they're fucking stupid. But Bader hasn't been great at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good glove, but he can't hit. And you guys have been playing Dylan Carlson out there for a while. I think it's a good trade for both teams. Yankees kind of needed a center fielder. Cardinals need more pitching.
And it also said was a player to be named later Cash. Did they specify on that at all or no?
I don't want to press the full story.
No, don't worry about it. I just didn't know if anything else had come up that you heard about. But
what's good about this trade is that but the Cardinals are missing Jack Flaherty, which I saw an article today that was pretty interesting about how he got hurt again. He said his mechanics were off, and that led to the injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're out Steven Matz, but he sucks anyways.
Just dropping salt on Steven Matz's name.
He's not good. I'm sorry. But I think that's a fantastic trade for the Cardinals. I think Harrison Bader is very easily replaceable. You guys have fucking 10 more minor leaguers that are supposed to be better than he is. Another Phillies acquisition. Phillies acquired David Robertson for Ben Brown. This was my favorite trade out of all of them. Because a couple years ago, the Phillies signed David Robertson to be their closer. And he got hurt, right? Then he went on the Team USA run to rejuvenate his name. Then he signed with the Cubs and the Rays, right? And the Phillies brought him back. They gave up their number 26 prospect. But you never know about prospects, like I said. And I think the Phillies are going to re-sign him. He's having such a good year.
And bullpen help, that's important. And I think offense was never going to be the problem in Philadelphia coming out of this, offseason. We knew there would be growing pains, and we knew there's going to be a lot of power, and with power comes home runs. I think the questions were... What's that?
Nothing. It's a stupid joke. Continue.
I missed it. I think there were questions pitching wise, and I think with this and Syndergaard, it really kind of strengthened their needs.
I was surprised by it because their bullpen was pitching so good, but what they did was pretty much replace Familia for Robertson, which is a fucking $1.5 million upgrade. So I completely love this deal.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's biased, but if you saw how bad Familia was.
Oh, listen, I can tell you how bad Familia was.
Dude, that guy would get to 2 outs with nobody on, and then fucking the gates would fucking open.
Yeah, he had one really good year.
This beer hits you hard.
Number 2 for the Mega Juicy.
Mm-hmm. Twins acquire right-handed pitcher Michael Fulmer for Sawyer Gibson-Long.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Michael Fulmer was once was the top of the line starter not too long ago. This says right here, he was a big part of the Jonas Cespedes deal.
Many moons ago.
But Yeah, but like a couple, not even 4 years ago, Michael Fulmer was considered one of the best starters in baseball. He got. I don't know if he had Tommy John, but I know he got hurt, and it brought him to the bullpen, and it's worked out for him. So it's a good move for the Twins. They got another reliever.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who Sawyer Gipson Long is.
No.
I have no idea. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know.
But he's in Detroit now.
Yep. Padres acquire second baseman, third baseman Brandon Drury for the Reds. Another one of those moves where, like, Brandon Drury was good in the Reds, but he's been such a journeyman player throughout his whole career. Like, it's hard for me to buy into it because he's never been that great.
It seems just incidental personnel moves, which, excuse me, I mean, we'll get into in a minute when we talk about New York.
It's one of those moves where, like, it doesn't wow me. Like, yeah, he's good, but it doesn't put the Padres over the top.
No, not at all. I mean, at this point, too, it's almost like it's white noise,
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not just being like a shit baseball fan. Like, a lot of people love what the Padres did, but I just personally don't.
They're going to be second fiddle to the Dodgers forever.
And here's another Phillies move, and I want to explain it to you. Then I want to hear your guys' perspective. The Phillies acquired outfielder Brandon Marsh for catcher Logan O'Hoppe. Logan O'Hoppe was the Phillies' number 3 prospect. Okay, so they traded the number 3 prospect for an outfielder who's had a pretty much down year, but it's only his second year. Nothing to note. He was he's a catcher. So a lot of people were pissed off in the fact that the Phillies traded him for Brandon Marsh. And the reason why I'm okay with it is because he wasn't going to play catcher for the Phillies.
Right. I don't think it's that bad. I will say this. Odubel Herrera wasn't working out. Time has passed. He's never going to be. I don't ever see him being up in the major league level really again of anything that matters. Sent him down. You got a player with great upside who can play catcher if needed. Probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's not really any camp that should.
Well, it's not that he won't play catcher. He won't play catcher for the Phillies because they have probably the best catcher in baseball.
Right. Well, I guess what I mean, it could be like a Brandon Inge type situation, like a guy who can play somewhere wherever you need him. You know what I mean? He's like the multi-talented.
So Brandon Marsh is only 24, and he's a plus defender. You kind of need that between the two fucking schmucks and left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I love the deal because, like, for some reason, I've always been attached to Brandon Marsh. Because, I don't know if it's because of the long hair or the fact he looks like Jesus or whatever. I've always been attached to that guy. I liked him for a couple, like, since this year, not last year. I found out who he was this year. And, like, I saw the rumors that, the Phillies were looking at him, and I'm like, that'd be cool. And then they pulled the trigger. You can't be mad with a defensive center fielder who has upside.
No.
I mean, you could be. You'd be a tool, but you could be.
I see him drunk. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
But, like, Logan O'Hoppe was never going to play center field. Was never going to catch for the Phillies. Like, JT's there. Rafael Martian's there. Who's probably a better defensive catcher. Garrett Stubbs has been pretty solid, who was on Trevor Bauer's YouTube channel. I like the move. Like, his numbers aren't great this year, but Phillies need him to not. With the Angels, he kind of had to press a little bit because nobody was hitting him. Trout was hurt, and they fell off. The Phillies are swinging on all cylinders right now. So I think it's a good move. I do. Syndergaard's probably the worst move out of all three, but I'll take it. And then we have the Mets acquire first baseman outfielder Darren Ruff for J.D. Davis, Thomas Suzuki, Nick Zwack, and Carson Seymour.
Half of those weren't real names.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch enough Met games to know how good JD Davis is.
So here's the thing. My opinion on it is this is kind of irrelevant because they were playing similar ball. JD Davis was coming off the bench pretty much primarily. The Mets have a lot of players who don't have home, like a lot of guys who could be starting in a lot of other teams, but they have a surplus of guys who are kind of the same. So I think by doing this, they clear off a guy who can now probably be a starter and getting his time. But it was something that it was a move that really is not super impactful in my opinion. Now we'll see how the rest of the season plays out.
So in my head, this is just so Darren Ruff's going to hit against lefties and Bolobach's going to hit against righties.
Yeah, I mean, I could absolutely see that how it will go.
So this is a trade I didn't even know fucking happened.
What's that?
The Blue Jays acquire Anthony Baz and Zach Pop from Marlins for shortstop Jordan Groshans. So the Marlins pretty much said, "Hey, we suck in the bullpen. We're gonna suck more." Like, I don't know nothing about Jordan Groshans, but I guess it's a good trade for the Blue Jays. They got some good relievers. Marlins are pretty much just saying, "Hey, we're done for this year."
Yeah.
Groshans is number 82 prospect in baseball. So this is a bad fucking trade. if you're a fucking Blue Jay fan, you got two whatever relievers for number 82nd prospect in baseball. I don't know. Marlins got Miguel Rojas, so whatever. I know nothing about this trade. I didn't even know it happened.
Yeah, some of these I kind of missed.
Twins acquire closer Jorge Lopez from the Orioles for 4 prospects. Talk about a guy that turned his fucking career around. Because Jorge Lopez was bad.
Yeah, I think he had a streak where he was like almost 20 blown saves, something like that.
Well, no, he was a starter at first. Yeah, he blown 18 saves out of 38 opportunities.
Yeah,
and then he was a starter. And then for some reason, Baltimore was like, "Hey, we're gonna figure shit out." They traded him for 4 prospects. I mean, like, whatever. They're all pitchers too.
It's so strange because there was a period of time where Baltimore was kind of exciting. You know, things were kind of going well. They were making some noise. It was sort of irrelevant because of the division and whatnot. Then it got to a point like, okay, hey, we're just gonna kind of clean house a little bit and play for the future.
Baltimore's only 2 games out of the wild card.
That's pretty
good.
As
of right now, they're up by 2 against the Blue Jays in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, but then so you're still in it mathematically. But all those guys that matter. And so now it's the Cedric Mullins show. I mean,
but here's the thing: they traded Mancini so they can bring up this rookie. I forgot who his name was, but he's been producing. But the biggest thing for Baltimore since he's came up, Adley Rutschman, like that's their guy. Like he was the number 1 prospect for a reason. And just recently he started jumping off. I don't know. I think it'd be cool as shit if Baltimore made the wild card game.
I'm rooting for him. Don't get me wrong. I feel like,
and I think they thought Jorge Lopez was tradable because they have 2 guys that have ERAs under 1.
Yeah, maybe they were trimming the fat. I guess I don't know. I feel like when things are kind of going your way, don't fix it if it ain't broke. But
this is a trade that puzzled me a lot. The Braves acquired Jake Odorizzi for reliever Will Smith. As a Phillies fan, thank
Smith
God.
is pitching.
Will Smith was terrible. Will was fantastic for the Braves for a few years. Jake Odorizzi has been bad for the Astros. And the Astros have like 5 better options. Odorizzi was once a promising pitcher. Like, he was good for the Twins. But to trade him straight up and just to give Houston another left-handed pitcher, all right. I'm glad he's out of our fucking division.
Yeah. Thank God.
I'm pretty drunk right now.
How you feeling?
Mariners acquired Kurt Caselli, Matt Boyd. I didn't know this fucking happened either. For Giants, Michael Staffiler and catcher Andy Thomas. Caselli's a catcher with defensive upside, and Matthew Boyd's a left-handed who should be out of the bullpen. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I mean, some of these trades coming down here are like incidental. I mean, there's a reason certain stuff doesn't get the same news coverage as others.
Like, Brewers acquired Trevor Rosenthal for Giants outfielder Tristan Peters. Rosenthal was just signed because he had injuries the last couple of years. I mean, I guess good for the Brewers because they got something for him.
I mean, it's a gamble.
Yeah. Mariners acquired Jake Lamb from the Dodgers. A lot of Mariners players got hurt the last couple of weeks, so Jake Lamb's whatever.
Yeah, just a roster spot.
Orioles acquired outfielder Brett Phillips from the Rays for cash. That guy can field, can't hit for shit. Guy can field, but can't hit for shit. Mets acquired Michael Givens for Saul Gonzalez. Givens has struggled with the Mets.
Yeah, there has been bullpen, pitchers on the Mets who have not really shown up. It's kind of been odd. Like there'll be times where we use Givens for an example. Like he'll pitch multiple days, and they'll be kind of rough, and then he won't pitch for a day or two, come back and be okay. It's just that the consistency hasn't been there. I mean, fortunately, they've been hitting, and pitchers have kind of gone deep into games, so it hasn't been a lot of bullpen type games as of late.
Well, Trevor McGill's going to the bullpen when he comes back, so
yeah.
That was an interesting thing.
Dude, I just peed.
Damn it, Kyle.
I don't know anything about this trade, but I'm going to talk about it. Both of these players don't matter. Cardinals acquired catcher Austin Romine.
Yep.
Do you care about that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's still there.
Man, a lot of these trades I didn't even hear about. Braves acquired outfielder Robbie Grossman. He sucks.
Oh man, can I just see?
What was that?
Twins acquire Sandy Leon.
Yeah, you were in the same article.
Yeah, well, I jumped on when we started talking.
Another good acquisition by the Cardinals was Jose Quintana, who pitching well for the Pirates. They got Quintana and Chris Stratton for Johan Oviedo and Malcolm Nunez. They both suck.
But, the Pirates are in a position where they've kind of found themselves in a lot over the past 20-plus years.
And the other trades we kind of already talked about.
Yeah, I mean...
Besides Trey Mancini.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of caught us up to where we were. This is...
Dude, Trey Mancini, since he put on the Nationals uniform, has been insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, which is very on brand for the Orioles.
But like I think they acquired a couple good arms in that deal.
Doesn't change the fact that it's on brand for Orioles for your best player to get traded and immediately go out and be an even bigger rock star somewhere else.
No, I know. Like the other best player to trade was Jose Siri, who went to the Rays in that deal.
Yep.
But I think the guy they wanted was Chase McDermott. I don't know. Orioles are gonna be fucking good in a couple of years. Like they're right now, but I think they're gonna be like top of the line team in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think we mentioned Washington before. I think Baltimore and Washington both find themselves in kind of good hands. I think there's a lot of good pieces earned for those teams.
Like the number one prospect in baseball now is their shortstop, Gunnar something. Like they had the number one prospect in baseball before this, but he's qualified no longer as a prospect now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be the first one to say this: Adley Rutschman will be an MVP player in a couple years.
Heard it here first, folks.
That kid is something special. He hadn't he's batting 256, but he comes through in the clutch all the time. And since he's been up, they win. They're winning baseball games. Blue voice an ugly fucking dude.
So yeah, that's been our
That's baseball, folks.
Our trade deadline catch up there from last week. It was exciting. It was
with a drunk soul.
With a drunk soul. Well, drunk souls made it through. I think the big thing waiting for was the Juan Soto move, and then not that it wasn't exciting. It's sometimes it's not as glamorous as you think. If there's really only one big name, sometimes you get surprised with things. I think the Trey Mancini thing was kind of exciting. It was kind of off my radar. But it's like anything. Any year there's just incidental moves. Just teams want a certain type of players to fill their roster. That's what happens.
All right, let me read you the lineup right now for the Padres. Okay, before we get into it. Profar, whatever. Juan Soto's good. Manny Machado's very good. Josh Bell, hit or miss. Brandon Drury, whatever. Their shortstop is Hung-Won Kim. He can't hit for shit. Cronenworth, I think, is overrated as dog shit. Will Myers has not been good in a few years. And Jorge Alfaro, the Phillies traded him for a fucking reason. I don't know. It could just me being a blindness fan, but I think the Padres are overrated.
Well, I think, and we said it before, I don't think it's not going to matter. Let's, real quick, while we're talking about it, let's see the standings. We'll look at, come on, load.
They have a lot of games against the Dodgers left.
Yeah, so, we're talking the 15.5 games back in the division. The wild card, they find themselves... They're I don't know, 3.5 games back from Atlanta. It's neck and neck. It's just I don't really see the Braves nor the Phillies kind of letting up on the gas pedal.
I personally think the Phillies are getting better,
and
it could be completely biased, and I understand. And I would understand if you called me biased.
You're biased.
But that's
your hobby bias.
But this is the first year in 10 years or 11 years, whatever, that I feel comfortable saying the Phillies have a chance of making the playoffs. They brought these guys in to have a winning pedigree. Zach Wheeler has been unbelievable. Aaron Nola has been back to normal. Ranger Suarez is going to throw you strikes. Kyle Gibson is what he is. And you brought in Syndergaard, right? And if you get Eflin back, that's a bonus. Right? You brought in David Robertson to play with, to pitch with Alvarado, who's been great since he's came back up. Dominguez, Brad Hand. Right? You got Schwarber, Mars Castellanos, Bohm, who's been batting .445 since the month of July. Bryson Stott, now you're starting shortstop. Gene Segura, Rhys Hoskins, who's homered in 4 straight days, and Romuto, ever since the Blue Jay series, is batting .385.
So real quick, the Padres have a fairly light August. They have the Nationals twice. They have the Marlins, Royals, 2 series versus the Giants, and the Guardians. In September, they have the Dodgers 3 times, Diamondbacks twice, Rockies, Cardinals, and the Mariners. So their September is much more difficult than their August.
And we saw what happened with the Dodgers last time around. And the Cardinals have keep proving that they can beat good teams.
They do. They'll get to the first round of the playoffs and they'll fucking lose.
Because they swept the Yankees with pretty much ease.
They had a lot of help from the umpires last night. Like a lot of help.
Yeah, well, one time I root for the Yankees. They fucked me over, but good on the Reds.
Good on the Reds.
I feel like Hal's all over the road here.
Well, there we have it. You guys want to do some beer reviews and some wrap up stuff?
We got some time, man. We started a few minutes late.
No, Kyle, we started on time for once.
I don't think so, but whatever.
Well, what else do you want to talk about?
I thought you guys had a draft.
No, I mean I think we covered a lot of stuff. I mean, I had other stuff if we had like more time. I mean, I don't want to dive into like something that's going to be another 40 minutes.
Right.
Well, we got nothing else to do. We're home. You're the only one that has to drive.
Exactly. Hit it out of the park there, Souls.
You are something else, Souls.
What? I thought we had a good show tonight. I want to keep it going.
We did. We absolutely did.
I want to keep it going.
Are you on your third mega juicy?
I'm on my third one.
Wow.
Kyle, yeah, you need to be done.
No, keep going.
I don't want to be done.
Listen,
that's why I want to keep this going.
It's a 4-pack. Finish it.
Kendall, I don't want to finish it. I'll play shit tomorrow.
Well, tell me about Mega Juicy.
It's solid, man. You guys would love it.
So
I'm the only one that's ever had it so far.
Comparatively to Little and Too Juicy, what do you think is the biggest difference?
So it's definitely more hoppier than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I think the taste is better than Little Juicy, but not better taste than Too Juicy.
Now, is it heavier?
I mean, like, it was definitely more alcohol driven. Like it's more alcohol percentage wise, obviously, but it doesn't taste heavy. That's the bad part.
Okay, so it may have like a little bit more like of a boozy type taste, but it's not like
it doesn't taste strong. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. On the can, what's the percentage say? It should probably be on the right-hand side of the circle of the label. If it's there.
Give me a minute.
If not, I can look it up real quick.
Just keep talking. I'll find it.
Well, tell me about your beer.
Well, sticking with the Two Roads theme. Also, real quick, Mega Juicy is 10.2%.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that's a heavy hitter, and you're on 2.5. But it definitely would do the job. And that's probably, depending on where you get it from, is probably like a, $14 beer?
It was about that, yeah.
Yeah. From Two Roads Brewing, not yet our friends. I'd love to do a show there. It's definitely nowadays more commercial than a lot of Connecticut breweries. They've done a lot of work. I mean, they have 2 locations now, both in Stratford, but they always put a lot of good beers. The Unorthodox is what I had from the Riddler collection. It's a Russian Imperial Stout at 9.2%. It's not super boozy. I don't know if this particular stout ages with time. This was bottled in 2017. I have to imagine to some degree it may have, but maybe not the way that bourbon counties do. I found this to be good. I haven't had this in a really long time. I was talking with Mass before the show. I think last time I had this was actually at the brewery years and years ago, probably around 2017. It's good. A lot of these stouts are served room temperature. Now, these were in my basement, so they kind of got a little bit of chill and sort of warmed up just being down here in PPRN. Very good. I enjoy stouts. I don't have the knowledge that Riddler does. I'll give you a quick rundown. The most unorthodox Imperial Stout is brewed with malted rye and aggressively hopped with 4 different U.S. varieties to create a depth of character that is unmistakable. Notes of rye, treacle, chocolate, and espresso all come together to create a crescendo of flavor, unbelievably full-bodied, and a taste you'll never want to dance, and unabashed Kalinka. I got kind of notes of the chocolate and espresso. I didn't really get any of the rye notes. That didn't really come through for me. But true to stout character, it was a slightly heavier. Kind of burns out the palate a little bit. I find myself very thirsty. This is not like a pounding beer. But for stout lovers alike, I think it's worth the buy. This comes out once a year, I believe. I don't know if they change it to their full-time rotation. But I'll give it 4 out of 5 flat.
Oh, great.
It's pretty cool on the label, too. It's in the corner. It says, "From Stratford with Love," kind of a play on the James Bond thing.
The title, you mean?
Correct, yeah. Nancy, how's that water?
Pretty crisp and refreshing, actually. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm happy
Would
to hear
recommend.
that. Was it a bottle or was it from...
It was from a Brita filter.
Now, do you have the Brita filter that is just like the boxes in the fridge, or do you have like a pitcher?
I'm going to boxes in the fridge because I do water a lot.
I want to get one of those. It seems like the way to go. I'm filling up I fill up the stupid pitcher like 3 times a day. So annoying.
Although, for how much I drink, I probably fill that up once to twice a day.
You should just bring like the garden hose into the house.
That's what I said.
Just have it constantly running.
Trying to ask for my birthday is one of those like water dispensers and put it upstairs in the room.
Listen, I could hook you up.
Listen, do you know how much one of those bottles of water costs?
Yes, I work in the industry that delivers those.
You're going to be getting me those at employee discount.
I can get you a bunch of empty ones. You can refill them up on your own.
Sure, why not?
Fill them up with the bathtub.
Ugh.
Souls, you want to tell us where they can find us?
There's no
Not really.
Find us at Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk, Twitter and Instagram at GSWD_4.
Yes, use the hashtag GSWD anywhere, whether it's drinking 3 10.2% beers or discussing all of the deals that happened before the MLB trade deadline.
Like, comment, and subscribe on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
Yes, we are there. However you listen to podcasts, radio shows, we cover all the bases. Haha, sports. yeah, just we appreciate anywhere you listen.
Take on me.
Solos is at another level. Other things on PPRN, Peter Pino Show, Wednesdays at 7:30. Off last week, but coming back this week. Every other Saturday is Mixtape Saturday, so stay tuned for the lineup. They do a great job, all the DJs on there.
Dan Reeves will be there this week.
Unfortunately, Dan Reeves probably won't be, but we'll be waiting patiently. And whenever there's not great shows on, be sure to listen to PPRN 24-hour music all the time. So there's always content. Never a lull in the action.
There's some what content?
What's that?
You're a good guy, Ken.
Hey, you're an even better guy. But I guess until next time, Mock didn't
I'm
show.
your host's cupcake.
And
you are trying to take souls.
I'm Mock Sheen Washington.
He is
on the best Christmas.
And I am the Rat of a Red Baron. Meow.
Couldn't spy.
Yeah.